สวัสดีค่ะ Hello Thailand and hello world. This is Voice of the Nation. Join us every Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Good morning ค่ะปิงพิตาภา and together with me are my co-hosts คุณนีน่านิราชา and คุณยอดวิทยาแสงอรุณสวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะสวัสดีวันจันทร์ค่ะ
สวัสดีครับคุณปิงคุณนีน่าครับ
I'm still excited for our relaunch event on Friday last week. How do you feel about it คะคุณนีน่าคุณวิทยา
I feel really grateful actually and I'm still excited still but I would like to thank you all the everyone who have support us all along ค่ะ
ครับคุณนีน่าคุณปิง I'm very happy finally we did this we relaunched the nation in a sophisticated way with this virtual conference and we got some 50 to 60 if I'm not wrong participants through the Zoom meeting and I like to thankคุณปิง you look gorgeous that day look at her
You too, everyone. I think
and we have this
worked so hard.
introduction. Well, we have this introduction for the nation fans and the committees and our previous editors. I know you are supporting us, and many of the editors could not show up on Friday. Our previous editor from the nation, we have big name editors, but I believe that you are watching us and giving us your best wishes. I believe this for our new team to make changes for the nation.
So you can view our relaunch event and see what content we prepare for you this year at our page, Facebook fan page, The Nation Thailand. Well, like this, every Monday to Friday, we are bringing change. Sorry. Today through Voice of the Nation.
You are the voice of the nation.
It's very early today.
Yeah, a little bit cough. So Voice of the Nation bring you updates at what's going on in Thailand. I hope you enjoy our program.
And feedback and all comments are always welcome.
If you like to watch our previous episodes, please visit our YouTube channel, The Nation Thailand, and also our Facebook page. Just search The Nation Thailand.
So today we have very popular interviewee, popular guest, popular speaker, I would say, into our interview session. Two of them. One is คุณอุตตมะสาวนายน founder of the newly สร้างอนาคตไทย party ค่ะ and another one who is she ค่ะคุณวิทยา
On my part, we have our special interview with one of the top Thailand's business leaders, Kun Jariporn Jarukonsakul, Chairman and CEO, Group CEO of WHA Corporation.
Well, for now, let's start our Monday, 24th January 2022 with the update in Bangkok first.
Okay, go ahead.
So I have good news for you as Bangkok's nightlife is slowly returning. So for those who love to sit in the restaurants and hang out with friends, this is such a good news. Because from today, you can go for drinks at the restaurants until 11 p.m. I just say 11 p.m. now. For now. So from Monday 24th of January, Bangkok restaurants customers will have an extra 2 hours to sit back and relax with alcohol drinks after authorities eased the COVID-19 restrictions. The Capital Communicable Disease Committee approved extensions of the drinking deadline from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. in restaurants that meet the Safety and Health Administration or SHA Plus or Thai Stop COVID 2 Plus TSC 2 Plus criteria. The move comes as a boost for the tourism industry, which expects to see foreign arrivals increase from 1st of February when the quarantine-free test and go scheme resumes. However, bars and nightclubs will remain closed until COVID-19 controls situation ease a bit. The Center for COVID-19 Situation Administrations, or CCSA, last week resolved to extend the time limit from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. following a decline in COVID clusters from eateries and growing calls from business operators.
And during the long New Year holidays, entertainment venues operating as restaurants were blamed for a spike in new COVID cases, as many of them reportedly failed to implement strict preventive measures. But post-holiday infection linked to eateries have been on a decline after a time limit was imposed on alcohol consumption at those places. Also, the revised Test and Go scheme will be reintroduced on February 1st to travelers from all countries. Under the original scheme, which was suspended on January 7, following a surge in new COVID cases after the arrival of the Omicron variant, fully vaccinated foreign tourists were required to book a hotel room for just one night. They were allowed to travel freely after testing negative via RT-PCR on check-in at their hotel. But after the updated scheme, tourists are required to show proof of hotel booking for their day 1 and day 5 of their stay in the country for applying for entry via the Thailand Pass website. The hotels can be different ones. The hotels they book must possess safety and health administration or SHA plus certification or be allowed to serve as COVID-19 alternative quarantine facilities. Tourists must undergo a RT-PCR test on the first day of arrival and again on the 5th day. If they test negative, they are free to travel to their destinations. They must make a prepayment for 2 RT-PCR tests as well. The scheme also retains the requirement for tourists to purchase health insurance worth at $50,000. Also, they must have a negative RT-PCR test result within 22 hours before departure. Kids under 6 who travel with their parents will be exempted from the test. Tourists are also required to provide certificates of full vaccinations or medical certificates that they have contracted and recovered from COVID-19 when they apply for entry via Thailand Pass. โอเคครับคุณนีน่าครับ
But apart from the good news, when talking about respiratory topic, we have another news that Thailand and Thai people are facing yearly. So, it's a seasonal PM 2.5.
Seasonal. We have a new
It comes and
season.
go. It
Okay.
comes and go. It comes and go. Yes, we have a new season, and normally the PM 2.5 always come at this time of the year. So it's in January around there. I remember 2 years ago, schools have to shut down
Right.
for 3 days, I think, because the country cannot cope with the PM 2.5 solutions. So for now, most Thais are worried about a simultaneous spike of COVID-19 and also the PM 2.5 air pollution over the busy Chinese New Year period. The Department of Health latest opinion poll shows 65% of Thais are concerned about the spread of COVID-19 and also high levels of hazardous dust around the Lunar New Year celebrations on February the 1st, which is the Chinese New Year Day. And respondents say that the biggest fear of infection was from going shopping on the February 1st, around 51.8%. And this was followed by infection of family gathering at home, around 42%, and infection among the vulnerable elderly group, around 41.2%. So meanwhile, 35% say they were not worried at all. And of this, 71.9% cited their strong health. 33.3% were accustomed to the situation, and 29.7% said they were protected by vaccination. In case of a double spike in COVID-19 and PM 2.5, 85.3% of respondents said they would protect themselves by wearing face masks in public, and 72.5% by washing their hands often, while 64.3% by monitoring the epidemic and hazardous dust situations. So, with the COVID-19 situation and also the PM 2.5, sometimes when I sneeze or when I feel I can't breathe a bit, I have sore throat. I don't know. I can't identify anymore.
It's from allergy?
Is it allergy or am I catching the COVID?
Oh no.
Yes. So I don't know about that at all. But actually, I would like to share about my own experience when I went to Samui for work last over the weekend.
Over the weekend.
Some of the foreigners do not wear masks basically, and they were told off. If they were seen to not wearing masks, they were told off to wear masks. But for Thai people, we're still wearing masks. We still pay a lot of attention to that, and we are still cautious about that.
Oh, they did not want to wear mask for particular reasons, or they just like show up enjoying the air because they are running from somewhere with the COVID, you know.
No, they were walking around. They were walking around, even on a plane. Some of them did not wear masks, and they get told off by the flight attendants that
I
please
see.
wear masks, please do cooperate it, because
Mhm.
I think self-responsibility is still important in order to cope with the COVID-19 situation.
Right. That's for sure. We cannot do that much in Bangkok. We have more something next coming up. Do you want to hear from the new political party?
Yes, of course.
Kun Ping is ready too. We got an exclusive interview this morning with Kun Uttama Sawanayon. Please stay tuned after this.
สวัสดีค่ะคุณอุตตมะ
สวัสดีครับ สวัสดีครับ สวัสดีครับ
Yeah, we're really glad to have you here because like the topic today is start because a lot of people keep talking about the side point too early of election in Thailand. So did you choose this time to launch your new party because you saw this side also that the parliament could be dissolved very soon?
Well, not quite that. Actually, since I myself and my friends, my colleagues, Kun Sontirat, and actually others, when I mentioned Dr. Suvit, Dr. Gopsak, we left the government from our positions a little bit over a year and a half. And since then, we have been able to meet with different people from several walks of life. And one common theme that we have found reflected in our conversations with them is that they would like to see sort of a new alternative for a political party that would be able to work for the people to move the country forward. And, and that has gotten us sort of thinking whether we can still work for the country. We still have interest because we were there before, in our positions. And that's really where the new party, the idea for a new party came from. As to the election, now that's up to anybody's guess right now when that might be.
Okay, talk about the on stage on that day on launch event. You said that you would not be too far left and not too extreme right. Does this mean you will be in the middle? And what does the word the middle means for you?
The word in the middle for us means that we would focus on what we are presenting to the people, which is to tackle the economic problems, issues facing the Thai people right now, and also to contribute to the building of a new future, hopes for the country. And in doing so, we do not want to be a part of any political conflict or otherwise. Meaning, as we all know today, so to speak, there's the right side, so-called the left side, where they hold different and often conflicting political ideologies. We would not want to be a part of that because we want to focus on tackling the urgent problems of the country and also to work with people to move the country forward. And that is what we really mean by being in the middle.
I see. So another thing that you mentioned on the stage that you're not going to support General Prayut Chan-o-cha to be a prime minister again. So for this sentence, for this statement, like may I ask what reason you have the reason to say that General Prayut Chan-o-cha should not be longer be a prime minister?
Well, we are a new political party, สร้างอนาคตไทย and among ourselves, the founders and our friends and colleagues, we believe that in working for the people, in presenting ourselves and our policies to the people, we should be able to identify and have ready our own candidates for becoming the leader of the government, i.e. the prime minister. For that reason, the potential candidates should come within the party itself and not from outside the party. So in that sense, General Prayut, who has nothing to do with the setting up of สร้างอนาคตไทย would not then be sort of considered as one of our candidates.
So as a former Minister of Finance and Industry, a lot of people said like during you are the Minister of Finance, a lot of policy cannot go to the goal. Like for example, like Manda Prasharat or like ค่าแรงขั้นต่ำ minimum wage or even like a salary for the new graduate and job policy also. So and people like keep on eyes a lot about what going to happen when you have your own party. What you will say about this?
Well, first of all, we all went into the government and also founded Palang Pracharat Party with the goal of working for the people with some new ideas, many of which you have already mentioned just now. And that's what we started with. And I was able to work in the government, and it's for the Palang Pracharat Party for about a year. And we were able to accomplish a certain amount of work. For example, to lay down the foundation for the Pracharat structure. And also, for example, in the bigger picture, the EEC, it's an economic corridor where we were able to push forward some, I would think, being interesting initiatives, groundbreakings. Now, there are other things that we did not get to accomplish, as you rightly pointed out. Manda Prasharat, the tax reform, and so on. Now, a couple of reasons for those, and I'm speaking as a matter of fact. Back then, first of all, as we all know, pretty common is that a Thai government tends to be a coalition government. Now, that in itself is not a bad thing, but it can present certain difficulties in pushing some policies, especially when a policy involves more than one ministry. In my case, I was at finance, right? But to be able to push forward Manda Prasharat, that would require the work of other ministries as well, like the labor and so on, which was not necessarily under the umbrella of Palang Pracharat itself.
Right.
To give you an example. And second is of course the time
Mhm.
that we had at that time, which is a bit over a year. Now, an issue like a tax reform needs a lot of thinking, careful thinking, and to be able to do it as I intended at that time comprehensively,
Mm.
not a piecemeal solution, but a comprehensive solution so that the tax system is updated, it's fair for everybody, at the same time consistent and supports the strategy for development of the country overall. So it did take some time. Now, this time around, what we would like to do is that we are presenting a new policy platform. Of course, a good deal of the new platform would be based on what we have accomplished, but then it will be built on those to the next stage. Pracharat, the first stage, was to be able to address the problems of the people who are less fortunate, the poverty line and so on. Now, if we were to do it this time, we would be presenting to the people not only that, but the next phase of Pracharat, which is to be able to help people to help themselves even more, to be able to help people to for their own personal development, so that they have, for example, the appropriate skill sets for the new world, the digital economy, and so on. So there will be a new policy platform, a comprehensive one, and that is what we hope to be able to present, in the coming days.
Right. Let me ask something, คุณตมะครับ. For the short term and the middle term now, if you were still in the cabinet, what would you like to do for the country now? Because people just living like, oh, we have no future. What's going on now? What would you like to suggest?
Well, if I were still working, things that I would do would include first, of course, to address the economic condition right now, where admittedly people of all walks of life are having difficulty. The SMEs, the small business operators, all the way up actually, and also the consumers for that. For this very same reason that the economy has been an issue, and not the least because of COVID having a serious impact on various sectors of our economy. So that is one thing that we would like to do, but we would like to do it in such a way that the measures, if I were doing it, would more precisely address the problems.
I see.
In other words, it would not be just on the demand side, i.e., consumption stimulus. It should be, in my view, also on the supply side. That is to be able to find the appropriate mechanisms, new mechanisms that would inject funds directly into the grassroots level communities and also the small business operators, so that when COVID sort of tapers off, which is expected, or at least on the positive side, right? When that happens, businesses have sufficient funding to go forward. Now, if we are only addressing the demand side, providing them with liquidity through initiatives, which I might say that I actually was a part of it, actually started it back then. But today, I think more is needed. And that needs to be communicated to the people right now so that they can see where we're heading. Second, I believe that it's necessary right now to address the issue of investments for the future.
Mhm.
What would Thailand need so that our people, our younger generations, can have opportunities
Mhm.
that they deserve as the world, moves on very quickly. In particular, with respect to technology. Now, people are a bit saying, "Look, our children are graduating. Would they have decent jobs?" The first jobbers might be wondering, "Hey, look, are we thinking about new jobs now? If so, where are they?" And so on and so forth, right? So there needs to be, in my view, new investments, new initiatives to move Thailand forward. So twofold. First, addressing the immediate difficulties with respect to the economy. Second, starting to think about the future. And third, communicate all of these to the people clearly now so that there is hope, so that people can see where we're headed. Now, if I may add the fourth, it's actually
Mhm.
politics.
Yes.
All of these, the first three, could not, in my view, happen without a stable and um, um, uh, a political climate that would allow us to do the work.
Anyway, did you got the name in English yet? ไทยสร้างไทย What should I call in English for your party?
Oh, in English. Tell you the truth, to be honest about it, we're working on that. So at the moment, we use the Thai name, สร้างอนาคตไทย but there might very well be an English name for our party coming up.
Yeah. So even right now, the government didn't fix the schedule for re-election yet, but a lot of party like they keep like send the candidate for governor or MP, and you too just launched the new party. What I want the question is like, what is the most difficult in forming a new party at this time?
Very good question. In my view, I have gone through these exercises twice already. Founding a new party with colleagues and so on. To me, it's very challenging. Okay, very challenging, but very rewarding at the same time. To be able to launch a party that has a real solid opportunity to work for the people, and not just becoming a party. And for this time around, สร้างอนาคตไทย we have been able to gather people who want to work for the country at this very important critical juncture where we're facing a bunch of challenges and also opportunities if we can take advantage of them in the future. So people are very important, and as we have shown last Wednesday, we do have people. Those are just some of the people that have volunteered to work. They come from different sectors, as you saw. The social, economic, businesses, academics, and so on. And that is really our intention to do so. Some people may say that, look, oh, you didn't show enough of the traditional, politicians, sort of the stars. To us, it depends more. It's really about people who want to work
Right.
for the country. They may come from politics. They may have had a lot of political experience, but also there are people who are new, relatively new to politics, and they're not ready to come in, but they still want to contribute. We invite those people because we view our party, สร้างอนาคตไทย as an open platform, an open party, so that we can assemble people and work together, because it's so important that we get the country moving at this time. We are stuck, like it or not, say it or not. A lot of people feel that we are stuck, and we need people to work together to move forward. And that's also to me I found very interesting, particularly this time around when we assemble all the components to get the new party up and running.
Okay, thank you very much for today, and thank you for being here ค่ะ I think we got more information about สร้างอนาคต Thai Party, and I'm still looking forward the name in English also.
Yes, I owe you that one. I owe you that one. You'll be the
Yes,
first to
don't
know.
forget it.
Promise.
Okay, thank you very much for today ค่ะ คุณอุตตมะ สวัสดีค่ะ
Thank you,
ขอบคุณ
y'all.
ครับ
Have a good day.
You too. Right. Yesterday, there was a hot topic in Thai social media about a young doctor with a promising future had road accident while she was crossing the street on the zebra cross. So this happened on last Friday. A guy who hit her is a policeman, and this policeman breaks traffic laws, riding his big bike on a high speed and ran into her, causing the loss of this young doctor. So this is a policeman. This is a guy who ride Ducati and hit her very hard. So a police sergeant has been charged after his motorcycle hit and fatally injured a doctor as she was walking across the road at a zebra crossing in Bangkok. So look at the CCTV together. So the woman in the black is Dr. Kratai. And the Ducati, the red one in the right hand, is the policeman. He ran very fast and he hit her very hard. So the CCTV show Dr. Waralak Subhanwat Jirayakul, or Dr. Katai, the ophthalmologist at Chulalongkorn University Faculty of Medicine, crossing the walking way in front of Taipum Mirachanakarin Kidney Institution Hospital in Payathai District on January 21. And this is Dr. Katai Ka. She's very beautiful. And the CCTV that you saw earlier, like every single car slow their vehicle to let her pass, but the Ducati not. And in some from what CCTV, this Ducati motorcycle emerged at speed in the right-hand lane and collided with Dr. Katai, sending her flying through the air. So the paramedics called to the scene found Dr. Katai has suffered serious head injuries and a broken right leg. They performed CRP before rushing her to Raviti Hospital, where she died of her injuries a day later. And Lieutenant Colonel Narawit Buadok, the off-duty policeman who crashed into Dr. Katai, suffered a minor injury to his mouth. He was waiting at the scene as a police arrival. So on Sunday, Narawit, this guy was charged with reckless driving causing death. He was released without bail after having voluntarily surrendered himself to the police.
Well, that's sad one. Let's get to the feedback from the social media. Many netizens pay tribute to the disease by using the hashtag Dr. Rabbit and hashtag Big Bite Chon Doctor. It's like big bite hitting her.
Yeah.
They got around 1.2 million tweets talking about this issue. So some people posted that according to the Thai law, failure to stop the vehicle for pedestrians to cross the road at zebra crossing carry a fine of only, you know how much? 1,000
much?
baht only.
Oh.
And seem to be too light for a penalty. People who learned about the news have come up with different questions. Kunina, just like, why is the cop who is on the big bike driver refuse to stop at the crosswalk from the picture that Kun Ping show? Other motorcycle, other stopping, right, slowing down, but why he's still in the rush? And this is because what we don't understand how the cross work, or because we don't have any caution for the other people. This is the cross work we have to stop. It happened many times. How about in other countries, Kun Nina?
Well, for me, who grew up in Australia, basically, if you have zebra cross, when you see the zebra cross, the car will start to slow down, and the law over there is very, very strict in terms of you gotta slow down, and then you gotta stop. No matter what, you gotta stop first. Either you have someone who are trying to cross.
You mean no matter nobody crossing at all?
No, exactly. So when you drive over there,
right,
you have to slow down. So where I came from is ACT, so Australian Capital Territory. So it's actually Canberra. It's the capital of Australia, where the you got the parliaments and government officers working there, and they're very strict. Everywhere where you go, you have a speed sign limit. You have I think the maximum on a tollway, just normal way to go to suburbs from suburbs is around 80 kilometers per hour, and you can't exceed that, because if you exceed that, you will get fined or you will get your license revoked. So when talking about zebra cross, I think it's common sense that zebra cross meant for what. And I think in Thailand, when I first came here, I don't understand too why there's a zebra cross, and sometimes there's zebra cross and sometimes there are red lights, but some cars still can manage to drive to pass. And I even, like, one day I had a fight with a policeman. I said, look, you are standing here at the red lights and zebra cross, and the car is passing and I'm crossing the street. I almost got hit. What are you going to do about that? And he's just like, that, it's normal for Thailand. So I think this is important for everyone, actually, that when some important signs, you got to pay attention for this, because it is serious. And I don't think this is a minor issue, just zebra cross. I don't think it's a small issue. I think it's a big issue that Thailand needs to pay more attention about that.
Yeah. Bad thing about this, a guy who breaks the law is a policeman.
Right. And she's a doctor. Okay. So we are very sorry for the family of the doctor and their loss. But, well, in another report, in the world of business, successful businesses are driven by CEOs who have a strong and distinctive mindset. The mindset is key to the success of their teams and their companies. We have one of the top of Thailand's business leaders with us today. She is a strong woman and recently listed as one of the 4 Thai leaders in Forbes magazine's 50 over 50 Asia 2022 list. Her business is one of the largest developers of industrial estates, logistics, and utilities infrastructures in Thailand. How does she define success? Among other questions that I have, Kun Jariporn Jarukornsakul, Chairman and Group CEO of WHA Corporation, is our guest today. Welcome to Voice of the Nation. Today, I'm with Kun Jun Jariporn Jarukornsakul, Chairman and CEO of WHA Corporation. And I really delighted to have her this morning because she's quite busy. And let's start with the first question. How do you feel about being one of the 4 female leaders in Forbes magazine list 50 over 50?
Hi, Swatika. I think this is the earliest interview that I ever have the interview before. For your question, I think that's I feel honored about the Forbes recognized me, and I think many women also recognized in Forbes, right? But this time it seemed like quite interesting because of a list like about the big J5, right? So thanks not to
Right.
you and J5, something like this. And so I also watched the list in the Forbes on the year 2020, but that year is 20 for around 20 women in Southeast Asia. And also like about the poll, something like that. And that time is not recognized like about the age over 50. But if you order,
Okay. How do you define success and achievement?
I think that for success has just more than just achievement. Achievement is like you set the target or team target, probably any target, and you achieve it. But success is like you have many so like about the strategies or maybe the passion something and you success and feel more than happy than just only achievement.
Mhm. So you've been a successful business woman, and you must have some secrets to tell other people about to be successful or to achieve something. For short, what do you how what you gonna tell them to be you need to be successful before 30, or you need to be successful before 50, or what your suggestion or recommendation advice for them?
I think that you need to classify yourself first. What success you or what about the success that you like and would you like to be? That's I always say that your success as my success, not the other success, and compare with the others. Otherwise, you cannot have like a feel happy anymore. You feel just really inferior, or just maybe you buy the success like the other, blah, blah, something. So first of all, you need to classify yourself. What about your thing? What about your passion? What are you like to be? Just only yours. So the thing that you set your target, right? And you know what about the ability, what are your strengths, not your weakness, right? And then you set the target or you set like about the aim that you would like to be, and then you can succeed in everything. Just believe in yourself and know what you are, who you be, who you are. Right? Otherwise, you not. I think that you cannot feel the success in your life.
That's very
So
good
that's
advice.
why I always feel success in my life in every step that I pass. Because I always set a target, always said, what about I think what I think, okay, and I always feel successful every time.
I see. So you are in the industry that's supposed to be like male dominated, lot of men. And how would you like to tell female professionals at work in such environments?
From my point of view, I don't think male and women have any difference. Just know that's what about your ability. And you just put that, right? So I think that women can do anything, a lot of things. Men can do everything, right? But think about for do the business or work, something like this. I don't think that for the gender can be like women will feel inferior from men. I don't think so. Even though industry sector, right? I think that you need to work smart, right? And you know what you need to do. What about your business model? You understand it or not? And then if you know what about that one, you can do anything, even though the male or the man's work or something. Since like we don't know like about food the strength or like about the use about the muscle, something like that, right? But I have brain, right? So you can smart everything, right? You can smart and work smart with your ability.
Right. So you at your office, do you have a lot of female staff?
Sure, I think that's more than 50% is female.
Wow.
That is right. But it's up to their job. Suppose that they're about the industrial estate, right? They need to do operation. Okay, that's male, right? But support in the office for the admin staff, accounting, finance, something most of them is women, right?
Right. During the COVID-19 pandemic that affects many businesses of large and small scale, your business still performing very well. Can you tell us your key factors that to manage your business in this tough time?
I think that because of our business model, we have 4 business is balanced very well. Because of when you do business, you need to not rely on just only one business, right? I always say that I do business I think that's nearly 30 years, right? So I face many cases, right? And that you need to know. I think that's the first one. You need to look in the big picture, right? So otherwise, you cannot have about the when you face the crisis, you cannot handle with it, right? So for this many years ago, a couple of years ago, for my interest, I'm not interested. So every year that I think we have a mini crisis that is best, right? So what we need to know what our business model can pass any crisis or not. For this couple of years ago, I strongly interested about the technology. Right. See, I saw that it seemed like the technology go like the exponential. That's why the BCA Group this couple of years I always focus more on about innovation, about digital, something like that. That's why we do a lot about digital transformation or about the digital innovations, right? And when the COVID came, so for the operation or anything, we can handle with it. But for the business model, we have 4 business model, right? Logistics, industrial estate, utilities, power, and digital. Some effect by COVID, like about the industrial estate. Industrial estate have about the, I think that's just only the temporary effect because of cannot travel, right? The foreign direct investor cannot travel to our country, so it affects just for the temporary. But for long term, it's so far so good for about the industrial estate because of the COVID, because of trade war. It seems like the relocation for investment from China to Southeast Asia, right? So it seems like it's good in this year for long. And for the logistics, right, the less of the e-commerce, right, COVID stressed it, and e-commerce grow really fast. So that's why we got a lot of benefits of logistics team, something like this. So when you do business, you need to look about your business model. You have to balance each other or not. And similar to VHA, we balance support quite well, and also we collect about the recurring income and non-recurring income. That's mean like support that's on the business, something like this. We still have recurring income to support on the operation, something. And so the most important thing that's I think that the technology, right, should be the most important thing that's for the owners or the top management need to think about. Not only COVID. COVID not I think destroy or disrupt anything. It just tests out and it just stopped activity. Right? If you look back in 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it seemed like about the Tom Yum Goong crisis, right? On collapse because of the financial institution were on collapse. But this thing just already stopped activities. And you see, even though we face Omicron today, it seems like, oh no, it's like about not serious, something like that. No, about the death rate is really low. I think that's what is only 0.1%. It seems like it's okay, really common for about like a flu something, right? So activity will back very fast. So I think that's now that the COVID not affect for us too much because of we don't do about the tourists, the hotel, that kind of things.
Right. So when you tell your staff about the change, because you have brought lots of new technologies for your business, and human and technology sometimes working together well, sometimes against one another, not adjusting themselves to cope up with or keep up with. How do you tell your staff that you have to adjust yourself? We're going to bring computers, data to work, and then you have to keep up with this. Because people just think that, oh, when COVID hit us, we have to stop, and then technology are replacing human. So how do you tell your staff about this one?
I told my staff many years ago about technology. Right? At first, this thing secretly like top down. Many says that for the digital something transformation need to top down, right? I agree. Right. But for us, for me, I'm not top down, only top down. I say in Thai word top down. Like this. And first of all, you need to change mindset of the people,
Uh-huh.
of your management, executive management. Otherwise, they will block everything.
Right.
So I train myself of my C level, my CEO in the group side. If we have many CEO and a C level, train their mindsets first, right? And the others, we just like about that. That's I told you that we do digital innovation. At first, they didn't know that's why they need to do. That's I top down and took down, not only top down.
Should have that word in English too. Took down.
Right.
So
And then Sierra
Right.
recognize it. And when we first about the crisis this time, yes, that's why Pijun always said that we need to share all the mindset, everything. So that's why last year we do about digital transformation, all the roadmap and thing. We got a lot of support from our people. Not only top management, all the people there. Also, we have many initiatives, 33 initiatives that our people have they involved together, right? So we are quite successful there. And then we do the digital transformation.
thanks a lot for joining us today. I have learned a lot about your company and your vision. Thanks a lot for joining us today. I hope we have more time. And stay tuned. We're gonna have a long interview with Kun Jun for next following week. Okay. Thanks a lot. ขอบคุณ
Okay,
ครับ
thank you so much ค่ะ
ครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ
And that the idea, the vision, and insights of one of the top CEOs of Thailand. She's female, and when she said, "Kun Ping Kunida took down," I could not come up with the word then in the interview, but now I got one. It's a smash from the top. If you wait people to change, and then you said on the top down, the command from the top, and tell them what to do, maybe they don't do fast enough, but because she has the vision that you have to tup down, just do it now, and everything's in the places of they're supposed to be. Okay, thank
Just
you,
do it.
Jaripon. Right, just do it, just like that. And we have a long interview with her in our new content program called Business Story with the Nation, and we have something more after this. Please stay tuned.
Yeah. So let's move to another news that quite like a hot issue in global. So the leaders and people around the world are mourning the death of one of the world's spiritual leaders, Thich Nhat Hanh. Yesterday is the first day of his funeral ceremony, and Kun Witaya has more detail about that.
Thank you, Kun Ping. For those who do not know much about Thich Nhat Hanh, we have a story for you. At midnight on Saturday, the world lost an important Buddhist, one of the most influential Buddhist monks who brought the concept of mindfulness to the West. Thich Nhat Hanh, he died on January 23rd at the age of 95. The International Plum Village community of Engaged Buddhism said in a statement that the monk and peace activist passed away peacefully at Tu Hill Temple in his birthplace Way in central Vietnam. Funeral rites are holding in Way for 5 days. He used to tell the monks like this: "If one day I die, don't build me a tomb tower. It costs money. It costs the people land. Our people are still very poor, but burn me, my ashes, divide them, then give them to Plum Village monasteries around the world and spread them on the roads where you go to meditate every day. In doing so, you and I will still go on walking meditation together every day." He's a person who brought mindfulness to the West from Hollywood to Silicon Valley. He just was only allowed to return to Vietnam after 39 years in exile in France. He was banished from his home in 1966 for calling for an end to the Vietnam War. The Zen master, whose influence in Buddhism is seen as second only to the Dalai Lama, was also expelled. Dalai Lama was also expelled for advocating religious freedom, especially in the communist country where all faiths are strictly controlled. He has lived in Plum Village in southern France for decades, traveling regularly throughout North America and Europe to give lectures on mindfulness and peace. He met Martin Luther King Jr., who nominated him for the Nobel Peace Prize in 1967 for his well-known peace and nonviolent approaches. During his time in the West, he wrote more than 120 books on mindfulness and meditation in Vietnamese, English, and French before he was allowed to return and see out his final days at Tu Hill Temple under close police vigil in 2018. On Saturday, Martin Luther King's daughter, Bernice, posted a photograph of her father and him on Twitter with the caption, "My father with his friend and ally Thich Nhat Hanh hashtag, who died this week. I celebrate and honor Thich Nhat Hanh's life and global influence for peace." Rahul Gandhi, a member of the Indian National Congress and grandson of the late PM Indira Gandhi, tweeted, "My condolences to the followers of Saint Master Thich Nhat Hanh, the father of mindfulness. His gentle words on peace, gratitude, and non-violence will ring true forever." คุณนีน่าครับ
I can see that Twitter is also a great tool of communication and sharing feelings and condolences. So the Dalai Lama actually praised his dedications to building peace also and on Nhat Hanh's official Twitter account. He even called the Vietnamese Buddhist monk as my friend and spiritual brother. Let's have a look at the condolence letter from the Dalai Lama. He mentioned that in his peaceful opposition to the Vietnam War, his support for Martin Luther King and most of all, his dedication to sharing with others not only how mindfulness and compassion contribute to inner peace, but also how individuals cultivating peace of mind contributes to genuine world peace, showing that Venerable lived a truly meaningful life. So for his biography, Nhat Hanh was born in 1926 at the Thừa Thiên Huế province. He later joined the Tu Hill Temple in Huế as a novice monk at the age of 16, and he became a monk at the age of 23. And he started at practice Zen Buddhism from 1942. He was not only a monk, but also a culturalist, writer, poet, scholar, and calligrapher. He also founded Plum Village monasteries in France and Thailand. And in the book In the Buddhist World, from Professor John Powles, an Australian Buddhist scholar, amongst the selected 13 monks who had contributed to the formations and development of world Buddhism over the past 2,500 years, Nhat Hanh was also selected and be in the 10th place in his book.
Wow. So in peace. ขอให้คุณปิ๊งครับ
So, and that's a wraps up our Voice of the Nation morning news update for today. I hope you enjoy our live.
And stay tuned with us with the latest news and information from Thailand's premier English language news source, connecting Thailand to the world Monday to Fridays, 8 to 9 a.m.
And live streaming to our website, nationthailand.com, Facebook, and other social media platforms. Don't forget to click and share. I'm Vithaya Sangarun.
And I am Nina Nirasha Malisak.
And me, Ping Thitapha Siripipa. See you tomorrow and have a great day, everyone.
See you ครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ